Today's blog is really for you women out there, although I think that men could also benefit from what I'm about to talk about. Today's blog is called No Agenda, and it's something that I'm learning in my life constantly. So how many of you out there have daily to-do lists in your home or even in your head? How many of you have perfectly written out calendars and take pride in your organizational skills and agenda? To be honest, I do. I think it is a bit of a disease with me, but before I go to bed at night, I have that to-do list for tomorrow in my head. That's what I'm thinking about when I go to bed. When I wake up in the morning, oh yeah, okay, I have to do this and this and this. And when somebody that means a lot to me is talking to me, whether it's my husband, my kids, even a friend, I have to shut that to-do list off and focus on them and realize where I am and what's important. And so that's what today is all about. So a few years back, I had a visionary dream that definitely changed my life. I'll share a little bit with you guys as it was a lengthy dream, but I'll just share a tiny piece of it. So in my dream, I could see the timeline of my life, and each block of time, so 0 to 5 years, 5 to 10 years old, each block of time of my life could be seen like watching a TV. So I'd look over and I'd see myself as a 4-year-old playing. And then I'd look over and see myself as a teenager hanging with my friends. So you get the gist of it. So what was really neat is that one of these TVs was my present life. So I could walk into it and experience it. It was everything that I'm experiencing right now. But I could step back from this, take one step over, and actually step into this, I haven't come up with a name of it yet, this incredible new reality. And I don't want to get you guys too lost on this, but just hear me out. So in this new reality, colors were extremely vibrant. It was very much like Wonderland, where everything was just alive with color and noises were more crisp, and everything was just absolutely incredible. I think it was very indicative to the way people describe heaven when they've been there and come back. What was also really important, and that was why I'm sharing it with you, is that you could have no agenda in this new reality, because whatever you thought instantly happened. And yet nothing bad could happen in this place. So if I thought about having coffee with my brother, he would knock on the door in this moment and we would have coffee. And so anything was possible, and you couldn't have an agenda. You couldn't think a week ahead. You couldn't think a month ahead, because whatever you thought about was happening right now. And so that really got me thinking of how I live my life and how often my head is in all of the week's things that need to get done. And if we're in Friday, then I'm thinking about next Wednesday and all the laundry I have to do and blah, 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 blah. I got the list. I got my to-do list in my head, and I'm not even really living in today. Or I can very easily let today just slip by because all I'm thinking about is the next thing. And I think that's why Jesus said very clearly, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow has its own troubles. And I think that that's so true, and I have to constantly remind myself that I'm living today and that what I do today is what really matters. And also take into consideration what's most important. Is getting the laundry done and making sure my house is spotless before I lay my head down on the pillow at night, is that the most important thing? Or if my son asks me on a whim, not on the calendar, on a whim to throw the football back and forth, do I have the skills to say, I don't actually need to do any of those to-do list things, and am I actually going to go play football with my son? This video is not a guilt trip for anybody out there. I've said no to play with my kids, and I've said yes at different times. But the point is, what is most important to you? And don't let your to-do list take away from the most important things. In Luke 10, verses 38 to 42, it says it really well. So I'm just going to read it. Jesus continued from there toward Jerusalem and came to another village. Martha, a resident of that village, welcomed Jesus into her home. So any woman out there right now, just consider this for a second. The Son of God, or at least the man that you have heard has been doing all these incredible miracles, is coming to your town and you want him in your home. What would you do? I think a lot of us would go into a frenzy cleaning mode, don't you think? I think I would. Jesus is coming to town? Oh my goodness. Okay, honey, you gotta help me out. We gotta quickly wash the floors and do the dishes and get all this food, and I would go into a bit of a panic mode. So that was no different back in the day. Her sister Mary went and sat at Jesus' feet, listening to him teach. That was it. Mary just went and sat there. She had no to-do list in her head. Meanwhile, Martha was anxious about all the hospitality arrangements. And I think that's where we want to draw our focus, is that when your to-do list, it can be helpful and help you get things done in the day, but when your to-do list makes you anxious and takes away from your relationships, it's time to start thinking about what's really important. Martha says, interrupting Jesus, by the way, "Lord, why don't you care that my sister is leaving me to do all the work by myself? Tell her to get over here and help me." I'm sure before this point, Martha was in the kitchen, scrubbing the dishes, and she's cutting the cheese, and she's cutting the meat, and making the crackers all look nice, and she's probably yelling every now and then, Mary, get over here. Come on, can you help me with the dishes, please? And she continues on, and she's smiling because, Jesus is in her home. But Mary, could you please help me? That's not working, so she goes straight to Jesus. She even interrupts him. And this is Jesus' response. "Oh, Martha, Martha, you are so anxious and concerned about a million details, but really, only one thing matters. Mary has chosen that one thing, and I won't take it away from her." So that's a reminder for all you busy, amazing mothers and wives out there today. Don't let the to-do list take over your life. And take some time and remember what's important. Thanks for watching. Have a fabulous week.